What's up, everybody? It is another Headless is Magical empty mailbag with my buddy Nick. So we decided since there's no new experiences in the mail, we're going to give one of ours. So we'll go through our symbols and then we'll get to it. So let's see. First off,
really,
you're muted, I think. I can't hear you.
Oh, no, I'm not muted. Good. Oh, fuck.
Nothing.
Really? That's going to be a problem.
Maybe it's me.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I could try to leave and come back.
Is this thing on? Yeah, I think it's me. Let me change my settings real quick.
Oh, well, this is what happens, people, when you go live, unfortunately, sometimes. But as I was going to say, as Headless is trying to fix this thing, I think like one of the first shows we did, I was actually supposed to get my experience. I never got to it.
I hear you.
Yeah. What I was saying is, I think I was owed an experience anyway from like one of the first shows we did. I think we said I was going to talk about one of mine, and then we never did it. So I guess I owe one anyway.
Yeah. So first off, we got the Tricquelion, and everybody should know this symbol. It's one of the oldest symbols in the whole world. So this was at Newgrange. They think it's 50,000 years old.
Oh.
So this has the idea of like body, soul, spirit, the whole kind of Trinity thing you can imagine is put into this Tricquelion symbol. It's used all over the place. In ancient Greek, they decided that it would be better as legs since you get the feeling of motion from the Tricquelion. So they referred to Sicily as the Triskele, and they put three legs. What's that?
No, what you were saying, I was just like, yeah, that's right. We were talking about that recently. Yeah, the three legs. Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull up the flag of Sicily here.
Yeah, you got Sicily, and what's the other country? There's two of them that have that guy on there.
Of course not. Wrong format, but yes, Sicily and the Isle of Man both have the Triskelion. And they don't try to make any links between Sicily and the Isle of Man, which is weird. It's like they just decided they liked it. I think that's funny about some of these motifs that keep repeating over and over again through time is that there's a definite continuity there. And if they actually looked at that continuity, it might reveal something about the nature of these things. But since nobody's actually trying to put the pieces together between the Isle of Man, which has these three night legs, and Sicily, which has the three legs and the face of Medusa, there should be kind of something linking these up, right? What are your theories? I think it has something to do with the water.
This image, yeah. Waters, I would even wonder, like, maybe a little bit of, like, I don't know so much about the Fibonacci sequence, but I do wonder about, like, I know I've said myself, I think gravity sometimes, or a downward spiral, upward spiral, something's showing you some sort of type of energy. But, yeah, it's interesting. I didn't think about it when you first mentioned it, but to go back to the Triskelion thing, this is really, I would wonder if they're both showing the same thing. And then is this pre-swastika?
A lot of people think that it's pre-swastika. I think the Nazis sort of canted it at that 45-degree angle to give it more of the feel of motion, kind of like the Triskele. They were all about going back to the original kind of symbols because they figured that had more power in the minds of the people who saw it, So picking the swastika, picking the Triskele, any of these like really, really old symbols would get people's attention and have them moving in a certain direction. And again, it's like that motion here on Earth that is kind of spiritually motivated, So you got the body, soul, and spirit, You got the three alchemical principles, which would be the salt, sulfur, and mercury. You got Father, Son, Holy Spirit. You got, man, woman, and son, Osiris, Horus, and Isis.
Yeah.
All these trinities,
Yeah, I was even saying before, I totally forgot when you asked me my opinion on it. I had said earlier before the show, I was like, even the supernal triad, which I would even say putting the water as a symbol, like even people are saying in the chat, I would, I was saying, I wonder if the supernal triad because it's kind of the waters, the abyss. There's 3 of them.
Right, and there is a form of the yin yang symbol that has 3 in it, and that's also called the triskele as well. So they're all sort of pointed towards the middle. And we've also got the Volk nut, which is the 3 triangles that are inside of each other. So these sort of triple symbols all have something to do with the interaction between matter, energy, and the spirit, I think. So,
I see people saying in chat, and I don't think you said it already. Maybe you did, and somehow I didn't hear it. But they're talking about like the triple goddess in Hecate. You mentioned the Medusa head in the middle.
yep.
The Triskelion. So now I'm like, yeah, could that be like a interesting?
Well, Hecate is a very potent symbol of 3 ways. It's said that you, if you bring an offering to a 3-way crossing, right? So the devil, if you're making a deal with the devil, you've got to bring it to a 4-way crossing. But to Hecate, it's got to be a 3-way. So if you're looking into that.
She takes a lot to get a convinced. No,
right. Just take out one of the roads and then
yeah.
Listen for those dogs, because
Yo, that was another thing. Remember when the dogs are always in pairs of 3 too, aren't they?
Yep. The Hound of Hell.
And what I do like about this symbol too, to even tie it into more like Kabbalistic, like in my opinion, the first top 3, they kind of, even if you're going to go 1, 2, 3, I think they all have a relationship somehow. And you're seeing that with them all connected in this.
Right. They're inseparable at the top.
Yes.
Down below, they're not. I mean, they kind of flow into each other, but there's different paths. The supernal triad completely unbroken.
Yeah. I had no idea this is 50,000 old. It's 50,000 years old. That's impressive.
Well, you know how they date things. You can never really trust it.
Oh no, but still, I mean, even if it's it's an old as shit symbol. I mean, how many times you've seen spirals and petroglyphs?
Right. Well, that's the thing. I mean, it went from all those forms of spirals into this form of spiral, and it's like it's the completion of it. But yeah, there's all these spirals at the petroglyphs, and usually it's matched up with the sun or with the equinoxes, something like that. There's always the spiral associated with the petroglyphs that are pointing to the equinoxes.
You got people in here even saying now the 3 muses, consciousness, matter, and energy, past, present, and future. Interesting. Huh.
Yes, indeed. So that's
somebody did say, I don't know what they mean. I don't know what EP means by take my mailbox over. I mean, just you got people sending you crazy messages. I mean, stories that we can use. Sure, tell them to start sending them to us, but I don't know what that means.
I don't know either, but I'm putting the email there too. It's so weird. It's like I thought it'd be an easy email to remember.
Yes.
I mean, it's right there at the bottom.
No, I'm not like trying to brag either, but the amount of people that listen to my show, it's like, yo, not one of you can fucking send in an email. Like, Jesus Christ, there's thousands and thousands of you. It's like, fuck's sake.
Right. Well, I think they just forget the email because the word headless is in it, and the word headless makes people forget for some reason.
Yeah. Yo, you know what's interesting though? To tell you the truth, I think I actually have in the Occult Research Institute. I actually do think it wasn't for this show, but I think there was 1 or 2 people that sent me weird shit in there that I could probably actually take.
There you go.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that because I hadn't checked the Occult Research Institute email in probably like months. And I opened it up and there was just tons of shit in there. And I was like, oh, I got people like, I think there was a couple of stories in there, but like old. Yeah, I'll have to pull them out. Yeah.
We'll check that out. So here's your symbol.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Today we got, this is a little bit of an older one. It's actually not as old as Headless is. I was trying. This one goes back to 1225. This is called the Son of Gnosis the Great. I do find it interesting. As you'll see, it can be put on gold, but the sun normally is associated with 6 squares and the moon is normally associated with 9. So, but this is associated with the sun. It supposedly came from the book. Please, mind me trying to pronounce the shit. It's Arabic. Shams al-Ma Arif al-Kubra. and that was done by Ahmad ibn Ali Abunai, which I'm pretty sure I think Lisa actually covered him on the Occult Rejects a while ago. Yeah, it was written in the Ubaid era Egypt between 1200 and 1225 CE by the Sufi scholar mage Ahmad al-Buni. His surviving autograph is lost, but dozens of the 13th to the 15th century manuscripts still exist. So odds are around 1300 is probably correct. The structure, this book comes in 4 books, and it teaches like letter mysticism and Quranic magic squares and planetary hours, hence the planetary square. The sigil is a 9x9 magic square whose rows and columns and diagonals all equal. That's like something too to mention with these squares. I'm sure I've mentioned on the Occult Rejects. I might have mentioned it here. They all those lines are supposed to like keep adding up to the same number. And this one, you will get a total of 369 at the end of everything. So I mentioned that. It is supposedly again in a MS is. Well, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Same thing. The classical use in the 1300s, casting the talisman, you would copy the square on gold during the sun's hour on a Sunday when the sun is dignified or Leo is rising, preferred. There would be an invocation. You would write the 19th letter, Quranic Asmala. You would write this letter 369 times. And then the solar divine name, Ya Nur, or O Light, while basically burning tons of saffron and frankincense.
Saffron's expensive.
Yeah. Self-fumigating. I fucked that word up, but that's what it said. The powers that you're getting out of, what you're getting out of this, supposedly kingship, honor, bodily health, and liberation from fear. It causes princes to favor the bearer and furnishes of an invulnerable armor of light. The placement, it's normally sewn into a cap or it's engraved on a ring or hung over the doorway of a treasury. Ottoman court workshops copied the square onto talismanic shirts for sultans. The Maghribi, whoever, Marabouts, etched it on lead drinking bowls for healing. The Hassa and the Yoruba healers still painted on rugya boards rinsed in medicinal water. You do see it show up in 1680 on an Ottoman silver mirror back. It bears the square amid the 7 seals. It shows up again in talismanic, like I said, with the sultans in 1610. Again, it was first created in Egypt around 12 to 1225. It absorbs the solar light. It's for authority, health, and protection. The Ottomans used it, and it's been used for Sufi medicine. And I think that's about it. That's enough for now. Oh, let me just go through some of the pictures and show you more if you want to say something else.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that one is interesting because it's not the 9x9. There's another version of it on, I guess, gold. Yeah, I don't know. This for some reason came up when I looked it up. But yeah,
nice. It was really kind of reminiscent of Nokia.
Yeah.
I don't know how many squares, but like, let me see if I can find it. There's so many tables in Anarchy, and it's just amazing. John D. Showstone. Here's the Diam Ameth, right? Sigillum Ameth, Dia Ameth. And then there's the big one. That's what I'm looking for. And it goes by all of. Do you think the banishing ritual of the pentagram is older than or younger than Enochian, John D?
Ooh.
Because
I know some people have. Actually, I think John D might. Fuck. I don't know. May have been John D because I know some people have. I think some people, could be wrong, but they kind of thought that Albert Pike might have kind of influenced the pentagram ritual. The Golden Dawn was known for doing the pentagram ritual and the hexagram ritual. Those were kind of their things. So maybe if you want to, obviously they might have pulled that from somewhere earlier, but if you look at when they started, it was after John Dee.
Right. Well, in the Enochian tablets, there's the cross down the middle, and then there's the cross that way, and then you've got the 4 elements, and each one of the 4 elements have their own angelic interpretations. I keep looking for it, but I can't find it. Whatever. Anyways, but yeah, it's a magical square that's broken down into more magical squares, broken down into more magical squares, and in some sense, I get the feeling of like 3D rendering, right? So you need all of these different squares built on like the sounds and these incantations so that you can get the 3D model, and so it's sort of like building itself in the process of you doing the magic. So who's really getting used? I think it's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring up my experience with the Amityville horror. So a lot of you people have probably seen the movies. Really interesting stuff. I got a original printing of the Amityville horror back when I was a kid, back in high school. And my dad's friend said that his cousin knew the DeFeos. And so I gave him the book, and he signed it in there talking about Ronnie DeFeo and how, he was a troubled kid and all the rest of this stuff. And then, promptly lost the book. But it's kind of interesting that, somebody would actually sign this book because, the murders that took place there were pretty horrific, And that was before the Amityville horror thing where they're being, chased by ghosts and stuff and having the walls bleed. But that whole Ronnie DeFeo angle was kind of interesting. And later on, I met a dude who actually went to the Amityville house. And this is what he told me. He said that when he got back to his house, he was just like overcome with this sickness, right? He had to go to the hospital. And then the CDC was called in because it had certain characteristics that they hadn't seen before. And so they were pumping him full of experimental drugs. And apparently, like, they were concerned that whatever he had was going to go and become infectious.
Wow.
And he wasn't sick before he went to the Amityville house, and they couldn't really identify what he had. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, especially like, I don't know what to think about it, but sometimes they talk about like either like poltergeist or even demonic possessions or whatever possessions. Sometimes people will get sick or like exhibit like something wrong with their skin or their body, like almost like
lesions.
Yeah, bad reaction. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Interesting. It's not something healthy that you want. Put it that way.
Well, I mean, is there really even a difference between demons and parasites? Other than their physicality, but they're basically the same thing. They do the same thing. They just feed off of you. So for them to be causing illness, that doesn't surprise me, especially given that it's only recently that we've started associating sicknesses with germs instead of demons. Because usually that's what they attributed the sickness to. It's a bad spirit has come over them, And it's interesting the way they talk about medicine in the book The Golden Ass by Apuleius, which is 2nd century. They would always ascribe different illnesses to the gods that would be associated with the symptoms, right? And so that's how they would classify illnesses back then.
Oh wow!
So I'm not sure what that pig. Do you remember the pig in the movie? Like the imaginary friend turned into a massive pig.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine that pig is probably something pretty horrible to come down with.
Yeah.
All right. That's my Amityville story.
Nice. All right. Yeah. So I had a story that I think I was offering to tell a long time ago. Probably, like I said, the first or second show we did. It was a weird experience that I had in my house as I think I was in my teens. Yeah, I was definitely at least 16, 17. I will preface this right away. I wasn't high, so you can't even say that. At one point when I was younger, my grandfather was going to move into the house with us, And my father redid the whole basement for my grandfather to turn around and say, I changed my mind. So we had a whole finished basement. And he was like, I guess if you want to take it, you can go down there if you want. You know, and I was like playing the guitar and I was starting to get into like, you know, bands. And he's like, you know, go down there. It's just better if you want to fucking kick and bring his drums over and leave him there with him. So it just worked out for me. So like now I'm in the basement that I always thought honestly was creepy as fuck in my house anyway. It was like one of those basements I've admitted. It's like as I was walking up the stairs, I'm looking behind me thinking something's going to grab me and touch me. You know? It's just fucking weird. Like something's creepy is looking at you.
I used to hate that feeling. Now I love that feeling.
Yo, yeah. I'm the total opposite now. I'm like, is there something there? Let me see. Let me find out, motherfucker. So like I'm down there, and one night I think I'm just like I'm laying in bed, you know, going to bed, and you know sometimes my father would like come downstairs, you know, normal parent, I guess, you know, need to bust your chops, want to remind you about something, just annoy you about some dumb shit, and like I hear footsteps coming, I'm like, oh fuck, here comes my fucking father. Sakes, it's like late. I don't want to hear your shit. And I just hear the steps and then nothing. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm like hearing shit. And then like I think I hear it again. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And like nothing. It's like you hear the steps end and that's it. And I'm like, nobody's there. And then I started hearing it again. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? So I get up and I literally go upstairs and I'm like, yo, Dad. And I woke him up and I was like, he's like, what is the problem? I was like, oh, I said, I actually thought you were like coming down up and down the stairs. I was gonna ask you like, what the fuck are you doing? I thought he might have been fucking with me or some shit. I don't know. It just didn't make any sense. So he was sleeping. I go back to my bed. I hear it again. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? So now I hear it again. And like at the top of the stairs, like it kind of ends like on I don't think there was a carpet right away. It was still like a whatever type of floor. Then eventually the carpet kicked in. I would hear the footsteps come down the steps. And then it started sounding like footprint, like something stepping on the rug, getting close to my bed, but then would like stop halfway. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? Started hearing it again. Steps, the feet coming down the stairs or something, pat, 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 and then something walking across and like getting closer to the bed. Then I started hearing the footsteps coming down the stairs over and over and over again, not stopping, and then the footprints going on the floor. And I'm like, yo, I'm like sitting in my bed. Honestly, I'm terrified at this point. I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on right now? I'm hearing somebody walk down the stairs and I'm hearing somebody walk across my fucking floor coming towards my bed. And I'm like looking and it's like pitch black, but like it might have been like one red light from my stereo or some shit. So I'm just like, yo, I'm like, I can't really see anything. So even if something was there, when the fuck am I going to see when it's in my face? And I'm just like, yo, what the fuck, terrified. Now to top it off, you want to scour what the fuck was going on? Somebody trolling me, and it was a ghost fucking with me to really make a motherfucker shit their pants. Now they want to start scraping the fucking floor around the outside of my bed. Jeez. And now I hear shit coming down the stairs. I hear shit walking across the carpet, and I hear shit around the front side of my bed and around the other side of my bed because my bed's like in the corner of the room. And I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck is happening? It never stopped until I passed out. Yo, I swear to God, that shit freaked me out to where I even had my friend across the street. I was like, yo, you got to come over tonight and just hang out in the room and see if this happens again. I can say that for like an hour. He's like, yo, I'm out of here. Come on. I'm like, I'm telling you, man, some weird shit fucking happened last night. I was like, yo, I was like, yo, it's too weird to hear three different things going on. Maybe I'm fucking up one. Right. But you're telling me I'm hearing three different sounds that don't exist? I don't know about that. It was freaky, dude. I'll admit it. As a kid, that scared the living shit out of me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. But, yeah, basements are funny like that. I think it has something to do. Yeah, it's like the energy is kept in the basement, whereas upstairs, the energy is more free to flow. But, like, you've got these sort of closed-in areas that seem to keep in the energy a lot better. I think it has something to do with the doors and the entryways to these different areas. We don't treat them like other entryways, so it's not sort of the same thing. This is where it collects energy, I think.
Oh, yeah, even my basement was like creepy because I had like a crawl space that you could go up into, and it was all like you gotta like fucking literally crawl. And then like on one end, it was like the well room where they used to have a well there. So like you literally have a door that you can open up. It's got like a fucking hole. Like it was just like an old house and just a weird basement.
See, this is why I want to go to Greece so much, is because I want to be ghost hunting at these fucking ancient sites like the Asclepion. That would be amazing. I can't believe they're not haunted, you know?
I bet you if you sit there and just took fucking photos all night, you'd eventually pick something up in the fucking something.
Delphi? Holy shit, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, that was my shit my pants fucking oh fuck.
Well,
I remember
got one of
my father was like, I was probably your mom fucking trolling you. That's what well, not trolling you. My dad was like, I was probably your mom fucking with you because you're doing stupid shit right now. I was like, whatever. Yeah, you'll use anything to make your kid fucking stop. So I guess, try to scare me with my dead mom.
But isn't it funny to tie it back in? Isn't it funny how stuff associated with ghosts usually comes in threes?
Oh shit! Yeah, right.
Tricquelion?
Yeah, I didn't even pick that up, dude. It was
They say that normally there'll be 3 scratch marks on the body, like when somebody's having something actually attack them. And they say it's to mock the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. It's fucking weird. But always when there's knocking, 3 knocks. All these ghost things come in threes. It's just strange how that happens,
even this might have something to do with it. Even Rebirth of the World said a lot of basements don't have windows.
Right.
Interesting. I mean, actually, no sunlight coming in.
Well, they say that doppelgangers are dispelled by the light of the sun. So, what do you think about doppelgangers?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's possible.
I was listening to this crazy podcast about, all these doppelganger stories where people will, get confused with somebody else or they'll run into somebody who looks exactly like them. I think it's way more common than people think, because
oh yeah.
We even had that one story from Ryan from that other podcast. He was talking about his doppelganger story where he thought he saw his grandmother.
I can't remember what show that was.
I might have interviewed him myself, but
oh yeah,
he was going over a lot of different experiences he had as a kid with ghosts and stuff. And one of them was his grandmother appeared in his room while he was taking the dog out. So he's looking back towards the room and he sees his grandmother and he's like, that doesn't make any sense. How is she here? She wasn't there before. And then he comes back inside. She's gone. And he asks his mom, is grandma here? It's like, no. It's almost like it took the image out of his head, took on the shape, and then just disappeared. It's like, this is easier for him to look at. So we're going to make it something familiar. I don't know. It could be feeding too.
That is something to think about. But yeah, that was my freaky experience. So yeah, I think I have another one too. I'm not going to tell it now. I got to remember. I think I had like 2 haunted stories for some reason. I can't remember the other one. But yeah, and another thing too. I mean, I grew up again in Ronkonkoma area on Long Island. I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but we always chalk up all those dead Indians.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the area that I lived in, every street was named after Indian tribes. I went to Cherokee Street School. I mean, fuck's sakes, it's all Indian.
Right. Well, did you know that the origin myth for New Amsterdam is identical to the origin myth of Carthage?
Really?
Same beats and everything. So in Carthage, it was this queen that was running away from Tyre, Sidon, and Byblos. She goes to Carthage, which literally means new city, Carthage in their language. And so she goes to the Berbers and says, I need some land for my kingdom. We're runaways. We have to get out of here. And so the Berbers threw her a ox hide. And they said, you could have all the land under this ox hide. So she starts cutting it up into little strips and she gets the entire peninsula covered by the ox hide. And she says, good, we'll take this. And so the Berbers were apparently really impressed by her trickery and said, fine, you can have it, but I have to get married to you. So this is the origin of Carthage. Well, in New Amsterdam, it's the exact same story. All the Dutch come down and the Indians throw them a ox hide and said, you could have all the land under this ox hide. So they cut it up into strips and got the entire New York island. Why would these two civilizations, thousands of miles apart, have similar origin stories? Did they just use that occasionally or what,
I question a lot of history, dude.
I think the Dutch are the Carthaginians too. I think they were everywhere because they kind of embedded themselves into all these different societies. I mean, that's what they did over and over again throughout the years. And when we see New Amsterdam, that's the height of the Dutch sort of empire. And it sort of declines after that, and it becomes the English and the Spanish. Well, the Spanish was before the Dutch, but all drawn from the same roots, I think.
Yeah, that is interesting. How it's that same story. That's a little suspect.
Right.
I mean, listen, I'm sure the same things can happen, but it's just like, I don't know. Come on.
Well, I mean, it was heavily influenced by this bloodline thing. The government of Carthage was based around this oligarchical bloodline rule. And so what we see is all these families join the Society of Cincinnati, and they become like the bloodline rule for America, just exactly like they did in Carthage. That can't be an accident. I mean, these guys became the heads of all the industry in the young Americas, and they kept there. Like the what are they called? The Weld family. You got Bill Weld, who was the governor of Massachusetts, and his cousin, what's her name? Tuesday Weld. And she's got all these, she's got all these songs written about her and everything else. And it's like, that's because they come through that Carthaginian bloodline. And I think they're Dutch as well.
Yeah, I had some guy emailing me about Tuesday Weld.
Yep.
Trying to sell me some like not outlandish, but like this whole like weird connection. I don't want to sound like an asshole, but they started telling me all this outlandish shit, and I was gonna have the guy on until I noticed he said Circa a couple of times.
Circa?
Circa. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm getting fed bullshit.
No, Tuesday Weld was very heavily associated.
This person was making it sound like they were friends with her and they were involved in all that. Was just like, yo, okay. Yeah. Another, just somehow another part of your life. Yeah.
Right.
I was just like, I can't. And then like they're like, oh, if you happen to have an associate in California, I might be able to introduce you to the guys.
Is she still around?
Not her, but this person that like was the first person to supposedly break the story of her being into the occult. I don't know. It was just a really weird email.
Oh, the autistic kid.
I don't know.
Do you know the story about how that broke?
No.
This autistic kid was talking on a a reality TV show, and he starts talking about how Tuesday Weld did all this abusive stuff to him, and how she was this high priestess in this ancient druidic order, and it like, it's like, what is he talking? And then people started checking it out and checking all the dates and stuff. And it matches up with the fucking Rolling Stones writing songs about her and all the rest of this shit. So that autistic kid was apparently abused by Tuesday Weld in some sort of satanic ritual abuse. And they just caught it on camera at this one crazy reality TV show about autistic kids. Like, what?
That is wild.
Yeah, if that's the guy, you should have him on, dude.
Yeah, I'll see. Yeah, well, as long as he shows his face, I might try to. I don't know.
He was on a TV show.
In there, that just sounded like somebody else's voice. So it's like
I don't know his name, but if that's the guy, like I know the origin story. I heard it before, and that's the guy then.
Yeah, he said this person was telling me that they see him like once a month. I think they go to an IHOP together and like catch up or some shit like that. Oh, some weird story, and I was just like, I'll hit him up. I'll see. Yeah, I'll see if he can get the original guy to talk to me.
Right? Yeah, get that guy out, because man, some of this stuff is just almost too weird to believe, and nobody took this guy seriously at first, and then they started checking out the stuff, and they're like, "Holy fuck, he's onto something." So, I thought that was pretty crazy. Well, this has been another Headless's Magical Mailbag.
It's good.
We're right around 34 minutes. Thank you guys for showing up, and definitely share this around with your friends, and write to Headless Giant Podcast at gmail.com with all of your strange stories. Let's fill up that mailbag.
Okay.
All right. See you next time.